Welcome back. It's going to be Domino versus UniQ for the third one. And this is a high-stake game, I would say. UniQ can jump a little bit higher today if they win versus Domino. Domino, it's about staying relevant on the fight for playoffs.
Yeah, perfect summary, to be honest with you. I not a lot to add with that toss, but I think it's going to be, it should, in theory, be a much more interesting game than I think the standings even show, right? 4th, 5th. I think that, like you say, we're still waiting for UniQ to, I don't want to say give us confidence, but like their super weak opponents weren't exactly that tough, right? When you look at it in the grand scheme of things, they played 2 out of 3 of the current sort of relegation team candidates, and then Rising Dawn, who are right next to them in the standings after playing those teams. So for UniQ now, into a team that's a little closer to them in the standings, yet again, like Rising Dawn was, there's definitely an opportunity to try and flex their muscles and give us a performance that, you know, kind of shows us that they are worthy of being sort of at the very least a top 4 team, because they came in, you know, yes, with a fairly easy runner schedule, looking like a very, very dominant team into those weaker teams, which when normally you're that much stronger than the bottom end of the table, it kind of gives the expectation that you're typically battling for like top 3, top 4. So hopefully to see that from them will be great. For Domino, I want to see them break the damn curse, because it feels like all of last week they beat the teams that they were above, and they lost to the teams they beat the teams that they were above and then lost to the teams that they were below. So I think Domino really does need to, you know, try and punch up a little on occasion so that they can stay comfortably in that playoffs conversation, just simply because, you know, sitting middling is always kind of spooky, because all it takes is a bad run of form and then all of a sudden you're out of playoffs.
And one bad week and now you're out of playoffs. And even if you make playoffs, punching above your weight, as we usually say, it's a good way to send a message. Like, even though we're not at the top of the standings, we can still fight you guys. So if you pick us, it's going to be a bloodbath and maybe you guys will go down. It's about showcasing of who you are and what you can do as a team. So it's always important to at least win versus one of those teams above you. And today, I think this is the day. I think today is the day for Domino to do it and show UniQ what they're really capable of. And again, even though they're separated by only one place, I still believe it's going to be an even matchup if Domino show up today.
Yeah, no, because I really do feel like sometimes when we get very strong showings from Domino, they do look like a very, very scary team, right? They can be very competitive even with some of the top end of the table teams. But again, other times it does feel like they can kind of just roll over on occasion, right? A lot of their wins, a majority of their wins, right? 5 out of 6 of their wins have come pretty much from these sort of, you know, Guap, London United, Lucent areas. So to be Domino, I need to see something that gives us a little bit more confidence, that shows me that you do deserve to be a playoffs team. And this is definitely a fairly good game to gauge that.
The bans are coming in as we jump into Champion Select. It's going to start with Pyke and the Yumi, so the usual for the bot line, even though it's Pyke. Yone, I'm so sorry, Jamada, but it should be banned away from the game itself, as we're going to look into UniQ side to see what to take, the Corki. So these are more like the stable bans from UniQ. Domino are trying to look into the enemy, like what can we remove? So it's going to be an overloaded draft.
Yeah, definitely so, because a lot of a lot of directed bans hit, target bans. I don't know why I forgot target bans is the phrase, going down on the Domino side. They're even going to take away Goofy's Draven on top of the Yone and the Pyke. So the only real meta bans coming from UniQ side. So like you say, overloaded draft, definitely the name of the game. Domino, it feels like one of the few teams in this league that have put a whole bunch of priority on this Belveth. So if it does get locked in, wouldn't be too surprised, just because we saw it quite a few times last week from them. And it didn't look, I don't think they were one of the teams that made it look successful. I think it was Rate when Jubu had it in his hands that had the very scary game with it.
But on this patch.
But she was nerfed on this patch. So let's see how she gets on for UniQ, though, on the opposite side. They know they're dealing with Belfast jungle, so you know you kind of have loads of multiple avenues here. You can either go scaling yourself, you can go towards you know, hard aggressive lanes to try and punish the Belveth early, because in theory her skirmishing shouldn't be that strong yet. Trundle definitely plays into some of that playstyle. Very hard to kind of outstat the Trundle early on. He kind of just, you know, has more attack speed, has more AD, steals your AD. So is very hard to one-to-one deal with that. early Twitch lock for UniQ. So maybe anticipating the Zeri, or kind of just saying to Domino, we don't think you have a lane matchup which can deal with, Twitch early game efficiently. And especially with the likes of a Belveth in the jungle, you're not really going to be able to put down enough pressure via the ganks and setup to actually cause issues to the early game weaknesses that Twitch can find themselves having. So what will the answer be? Aphelios being hovered? Definitely don't mind it in terms of like a team fight AD carry to try and match some of the prowess, but they definitely need something, whether it's now or further on into the draft, that can try and shut down Twitch when he opens up out of invisibility. That's definitely going to be something that's very, very key to ensure that he can't kind of just go crazy in some of these team fights. Lulu wouldn't be too bad in trying to take away some of those enchanters that can really buff up Twitch, so I wouldn't mind seeing this one be locked in, and it will.
But I've seen this before. I've seen, this is a complete deja vu. Yeah, this is a complete deja vu. You see the Belveth, you know she needs to farm. You're on the red side, so you know she's going to go to the red eventually. You invade. You have Trundle, the Twitch as well, coming in with a Rakan as well at level 1, level 2, getting the entrance. That's a major lockup. You shut her down.
If there's, if that grand entrance connects, Rakan can in theory have a pretty strong level 1. We'll see what the early game plan potentially is, whether there's some shenanigans in the works. But now UniQ and Domino both have the same positions locked in, so banding can be a little bit difficult. But I think when you're talking about composition right now, Domino really need a front line. So maybe taking away some of Spuda's kind of bruisery picks from the top side could definitely pay a fair amount of dividends. Taking away Sero's Akali, though, definitely does make a whole bunch of sense. I very commonly see this one banned away from Sero. So just paying a little bit of respect to UniQ there does make a lot of sense, just to ensure that he is off comfort as much as possible. And maybe we just end up seeing 4 mid lane picks banned away instead. Not really sure what UniQ would want to take out of the hands of both the solo laners here. Maybe Aatrox is on the cards, but I think for Domino they're maybe looking towards another Eden kind of special, something that's very comfort as well off the top of the the Orianna banner.
And you need a few lanes with priority. The Ornn, the Akali being removed. You need some sort of lanes to be ahead versus UniQ as a Domino. You want to make sure that the Belveth has a little bit more breezy time in the jungle so she can farm. Unless she pulls the diamond procs and she's just going for the early gank. He has done it 2 times. He has not been successful, but it's a diamond procs, I would say.
It's so diamond proxy, like, especially just for root tangent. When I had the pleasure of doing the LCL, I was like, damn, I get to cast diamond procs. Like, this guy is a GOAT of the game. And then I was being told about how he plays. I was like, he can't be that much of a psychopath. I did VOD reviews. My God, this guy just goes in. He never stops. And he still does it now in 2022 on champions he should be farming with. UniQ though, back to the draft. Pick up the Victor, something that's relatively safe early scaling, can get priority in some lanes early on, but definitely looking towards sort of that level 5, 6, 7 mark, where sometimes you can get super early access to the upgraded laser, but normally around that sort of level 7, 8 is when you will pick that one up. Domino though looking to answer with some pretty aggressive picks in that Silas, so that's definitely something that can look to skirmish into the Victor early on, and I think Spuda, plenty of options still up and available, and is just going to default to the Gnar, so nothing too crazy out of the ordinary. I wonder though if Neos is going to go towards that Camille as he so frequently has, or if we're going to get something a little more spicy, right? We just had things like the Claire and Mord Hovers. These are all pretty fun, but I think they definitely do need a front line. A little more frontline, just instead of just the Trundle. They have a lot of AD, or not a lot of AD, they have a lot of damage between the Twitch and the Victor. I think maybe using another champion that has a fairly strong early to mid game as kind of a buffer and a bridge to get to that point for those carries would definitely make a whole bunch of sense. And Wukong plays into that perfectly. I think has a pretty decent time into the Gnar, beg your pardon. Not only that, really does well with the Rakan in terms of facilitating engages and having a lot of chain CC knockup between the Cyclones and the Grand Entrance. So I quite like how UniQ have rounded out their composition. I think there's a very clear strength through the top side of the map early on to play into, and they can very easily rely on the scaling of the Twitch and the Victor later on, whereas on Domino's end, definitely looking towards, Zero on this Silas to try and find some early priority, some scaling, try and play around that. Maybe there's a little bit of early priority through the top side of the map. We'll have to see how that lane plays out, but definitely looking towards that Aphelios scaling, and of course the Belveth, who into a fairly sort of short range composition, 3 out of 5 mini champions can maybe mince through that front line and then maybe give backline access to the rest of the composition for Domino.
But also justifies the Silas a little bit more with that Cyclone that you can steal. I was looking into the ultimates. Okay, I see the Silas. It's not going to be the best ultimates that you can steal. You have the Rakania, you have the Chaos Storm. You can steal away some resistances, but if you don't have anyone tanky, I mean, it's more for the sustain. So that Wukong ultimate is going to justify a little bit more on Zero's side. And do you believe they have enough priority to allow this Belveth to be comfortable in the jungle, to farm away, or we get to see the diamond?
I mean, I think definitely from the bottom side of the map, top lane as well, should be in the early levels. They're favored, but I definitely wonder how the mid lane will go. I think just because the range to melee advantage, that could be something that UniQ look to play off with Shafty sort of playing off mid lane priority, and then maybe Rombengi Eva just kind of decides to give up on lane very temporarily and just kind of move with him, or maybe they end up getting priority in some kind of weird way early on. We'll have to see, but we're onto the Rift for our third game of the day.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
Archer? Oh. I feel like he's pranking me, but I can't. Okay. Okay, I guess I have lost temporarily my play-by-play. But, yeah, looking into this game. So, UniQ, again, I think definitely have a pretty strong 2v2 to play through on the top side of the map. It's just about how early on they can actually use it and utilize it. I think that's the key thing. We'll have to kind of see what Shafty decides to path to early on. And I think looking from the onset of this reset, he's going to go to the water top side first. So kind of expect to try and get the Wukong ahead in this side lane matchup. And he can really keep Nardanos be very, very oppressive. We've seen already a very strong Wukong performance out of MVZ today. So we know what the champion can do if it does snowball. But again, as well, definitely trying to protect the bottom side of the map. You know, in that Twitch from getting too far behind potentially in a matchup where Felios and this Lulu can look to kind of bully out a little bit. But again, if Shafty comes down there and gets the gank going, it's very irritating to deal with the pillar early on.
I was expecting someone to go in a little bit early in the game, put up a ward on Belveth to know where she's going to start to punish her. With this Trundle, with the Twitch as well, level 1, it's in Aphelios. It's a hard level to play. At level 1 as Aphelios, you're kind of like a champion. They're not the best champion, but you're kind of like a big super minion because you have 2 weapons. You don't have skills. I mean, you know what I'm talking about. You know it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, sure, to a point. I can get behind it a little bit.
Easier to play with Twitch than the Aphelios level 1, I would say.
Yeah.
Lethal jump and all that versus Conqueror. I understand you're putting your
my dog doesn't agree with you.
You know, it's a dog, so I totally respect that opinion and I give it.
Dogs are precious and we cannot disagree with dogs. Yeah, that's how it goes.
We can agree on that.
If Doggo says something, then it is
Doggo proclaimed.
law.
Doggo is the ruler.
Exactly. He is the king of the castle. But early on, as expected, Snubby and Hellman are getting priority down here. We'll see if there's anything Porcupine can actually do to play off this, or if it's just going to be, you know, full clearance Skullcrab into a reset, which I'd expect to be the most likely outcome. Shafty is here on the top side. We'll see whether or not he's actually able to make something work onto Spuda, who I believe has already gnawed out and exhausted himself, and whether or not he'll be able to actually find a play. I'm going to go deal with that for a second. Otherwise, he's probably going to bark a lot more. Archer.
Oh man, it's cool. Warwick was picked into this game, so he's just barking away, trying to find any sort of ganks into this NLC Division 2 day. It's day 13, by the way, guys. We're reaching the end of the summer split already, which means we're going to have not only relegations, but opportunities for these second division teams to jump into Division 1. And I know a lot of these teams are looking into the bottom of the table of Division 1. And they're like, okay, we can take these guys. Meanwhile, Eden is now taking a beating out of Zero, who just TP'd back into lane with the Dardangs. That is a grand entrance that doesn't get a lot of grand anything, because Navi is capable of just doing that little side step. Now, this is exactly what I was waiting for. Shafty to get a huge invade. Look how deep the Trundle is, looking for Belveth. Now, With the TP, I don't think Zero is going to allow this one to go in. Porcupine is also there. You need priority on the lane. And Porcupine gets himself the first blood. This is not what UniQ was looking for. Exactly, Jamad is not here, don't worry. This is a really good kill for Velvet, allows her to just exponentially get better at the early game, already with the pickaxe, so I want to understand what she's going to buy as soon and as Porcupine goes back, because we've seen a lot and a spam of Blade of the Ring King, but with the nerfs, as they're going to go for Snobby, but they get the knock up on Hellman, there's going to be the shields. It seems like that's more than enough to allow Hellman and Snobby to pilot this bottom lane. Talking about the bottom, it's going to be Shafty after burning the flash away to try and look for another gank. Rotten Bang is not on a good position. The flash is available. They're going for Snobby. Snobby with no flash available should be the kill, but to take the 1-for-1, and maybe they can punish Hellman. He's with the toxicity on the veins, and that's exactly what's going to take him out. It's going to be Shafty to finally put himself on the board, but this allows Porcupine to go into the enemy jungle, steal away a few camps. It's not enough. It's going to be a lot of summoner spells on the bot side, burn in favor of UniQ. Well, Domino are just left to wonder what they could have done if they had the vision, or maybe played safe when the lane was a little bit ahead.
Yeah, and I'm back. Hello.
Welcome back. Is Warwick done?
Yeah, he's done, but Neos doesn't seem to be. He's looking for the all-in, but Porcupine's here, and gonna have to just try and disengage.
Knock up for knock up. Porcupine with a double dash, but there's nothing we can do. Let's happen. That is the mid lane. Zero, Chaotic Storm. Zero tries to outplay it. The Yumi brings the shield, but that's not enough. And in the end, it's a 1-for-1. And it's going to be both mid laners falling.
Yeah, both mid laners end up 1-for-1ing. Both the supports there. And it looks like Domino are technically going to get... Okay, well, Porcupine hates laners.
Yoink.
And you know what? I can get behind that, to be honest.
What?
Moving swiftly on, Porcupine will go onto a full clear, probably look to base, and I mean, having picked up that kill early on is going to get him towards that Blade the Ring King rush, and then of course, like you were kind of mentioning, Blade, I believe in 12.12b took a brief hit, but speaking of taking hits, Snobby taking quite a few, and he's dead.
Now Porcupine, can he punish Shafty? I think he can. Goes on the ground, just and gets another kill for himself. 2 kills for the Belveth. She's getting accelerated.
Yeah, exactly. She is indeed. That's definitely problematic. I feel like Belveth, I'm not going to say feels like a really snowbally champion exactly, but
she's
if she gets
to be.
Yeah, like she kind of is by nature, right? I feel like I've contradicted myself, and I feel like a big idiot now for saying it out loud like that. But what I mean more is that she doesn't necessarily feel oppressive in the moment, you know, before she does. And I think picking up all these early kills right now is really going to pull a lead as things progress. Now, Neos actually has such a big lane lead to himself, or a lot of time, that he's managed to take away 2 camps on the top side, which is going to feel pretty good when trying to deny, you know, Porcupine some of these extra levels and XP, and he's even going to return back to his own lane to catch a crashed wave. Missing comes down, so they know that that's what happened. Porcupine still picked up all of those kills, gonna go back to base, almost finish off the Blade of the Ring King, and when he does, when he's on that spike, expect to see Domino try and fight around him a little bit more, because Blade, of course, is one of the strongest items still on patch, in terms of, well, just first item spike. If you pick it up first, it does feel like you kind of just out-skirmish a lot of champions.
Roaming in the map will allow UniQ to try and secure vision in this one. First dragon has been taken down, but 8 minutes 25, you know what's gonna happen. It's about to be the fight for the Herald, and if it's Porcupine securing this one with the Endless Banquet, it's going to be a big, well, uncontested. Ooh.
Uncontested giving over Herald to Belveth. That's spooky. I can't even recall off the top of my head what getting Herald Coral does compared to regular.
She awakes, and not only that, but every single minion that dies near you will transform itself into a small minion for you to push. And these are not minions that you can just kill with one hit. It's
like, no, they have a lot of HP.
Yeah, it's nasty. This is not Yorick. This is just straight up annoying.
This is straight up annoying. Yeah.
It's 90 seconds though that you can use.
Yeah, so let's see what Porcupine can get out of being gifted this Herald for relatively free. Gonna go look for a full clear before going back to base. Probably just looking for as much gold as possible before picking up that Blade of the Ring King. And we'll look to try and skirmish after that, but we'll see. Because I feel like Domino, this mid 2v2 is really where you want to try and force the issue. With that, with the Silas, I beg your pardon, and the strength of skirmishing that he has available to him very early on, and with that first item, Blade of the Ring King Power Spike, I think that the likes of a Trundle and Victor can't really deal with that much burst damage early on. I mean, Victor definitely can't for a majority of the game anyway, but Trundle early on only really has the resists that you maybe get from boots, and then whatever you steal, especially if you're going into Divine Sundry, are just HP. So definitely going to be very, very scary, and I want to see Domino try and lean on it to get a fairly good lead for themselves. Neos, I don't think he's gone too far, but will be forced to Warrior Trickster away. So Spuda, despite being counterpicked on, definitely handling this world fairly well.
So far, so good. Only the Shin available, and Porcupine wants this one. If he gets closer, yeah, I don't think he has the oh, flashes in, tries to get the engage. There you go. Those little minions are so annoying. Look at the turret. 3 hits on every single one of them. This is so nasty. Is he even going to drop the Herald? I don't think you need to, because they're just consuming enough time to make sure that you can just push this away. You can look into to the T2 if you want, or just look for another lane with the Heralds.
Yeah, that is absurd. So much that mini wave is still alive just because of the Void. Oh my god.
The wave is alive! This is going to be 2 waves plus Void minions.
Now, I mean, on the bright side, I guess for UniQ, the minion wave itself is still mostly alive. But the bad side is that they took that entire tower without using the Rift Herald, so they can probably continue on here.
If they don't respect this could go for the inhibitor. This is how dangerous this is.
Yeah, it honestly could. They're not going to drop the Herald here, though. And the Void Coral will just be a nuisance until Neos can clear them out of the tower. Yeah, it's... How much? Okay, Reed, can you left click on one of those Void Coral? I'm kind of curious to see what the stats are. They have 39 AD. Okay. Sorry, I just wanted to know. I was really curious. I wanted to know. 39 AD is how much those particular creeps have.
They pack a punch. Oh, they're the same as
that's the same as a Costa.
But with the tankiness of a melee minion?
Yeah, that's pretty bonkers.
Nice.
But with that Herald not being dropped, you can actually see on the HUD, the Herald doesn't have too much time left on it. Like, I think we're just going to have to see a drop on the bot lane and just hope that they can actually pick up some additional plates for Hellman. As you hear and see that timer tick. Just drop it in the lane, but I think it's just going to be denied away, if anything. We'll have to see, because I think Hellman, with that Gale Force, can maybe shove the wave in. It's slow pushing into UniQ anyway. But here comes Teleport from Neos, so they're ready to defend this. And they're going to be ready to try and contest this dragon as well. And Snobby is going to spot him out. But Snobby could be in trouble.
It's going to be quick. It's going to be the quickness. Snobby getting way too low, flashes away. But the knockup on Kuf. This could be the play to take down Twitch. But Eden is here as well. Eden is here as well as Zero approaches. So this is going to be a 5v5 because they know the dragon is available. It's only the second one. So a lot of resources being applied to just the second dragon, which is an ocean of all of them.
Yeah, and something like Infernal spawns, I could really see the game getting pretty hectic on contests over that. For now, though, UniQ will pick up another plate here on the bottom side. A lot of gold being traded back and forth. For now, Domino have a 1,000 gold lead, but it really does feel like there's not much in this game at all. 1,000 doesn't really feel like anything 14 minutes into the game, to be honest with you. And UniQ will pick up this dragon, able to kind of wrestle control of the bottom side of the map. And will deny an early dragon spawn. And oh no, it's Clown Dragon. That's a shame. I mean, to be fair, a couple of very strong champions to press R with for that particular buff. In particular, of course, Wukong and Rakan. So, you know, it's not end of the world, but I wonder if there'll be less priority on trying to pick up those dragons. We'll see. I really do think they need to buff Cloud Dragon. Like, just the base Cloud Dragon.
I preferred when it was ultimate ability heist.
Honestly, same. I think the reason why it felt kind of, I suppose, underwhelming was because it was kind of hard to track how much effect it had. Anyway, Spuda is probably dead in the long run, but he's gonna make a meal of it, or at least try to.
Mega Knock pushes him away. The cooldown is really old. You get the Cloud's movement speed, and Eden is forced to reply to this one. He's just trying to juke as much as possible. He burns away the ultimate from Rakan, and eventually he will go down. Yeah, what do you get in this process, though? You're trying to find something on the other side of the map, but it's only the red buff.
Okay. I mean, red buff? I think Porcupine picked up another Herald. Yeah. Right? Can we pull up scoreboard for confirmation? I'm pretty sure that's the purple. Yeah.
Oh.
So another Herald picked up for Belveth.
Oh, no.
And the option to actually just kill that tower almost outright available, but just taking away the jungle camps on the top side, full vision control is available here for Domino if they want it. And Neas knows he's on weak side, throws up the white flag. Resets will just come through, so very lax on trying to get a Herald play down immediately. It looks like we'll get a AD carry mythic as a second item for Porcupine, not the Frostfire that we have been very commonly seeing as a second item come in globally.
This is something that I was talking with the analysts, that you kind of are forced, or if you want to be tanky or you want to survive team fights, you need to go for the Frostfire, because she was heavily nerfed on the ultimate AD health ratio, where you would get HP according to your AD. It's now heavily nerfed, so that's why people are deviating to the Frostfire. So this is one of those builds where I want to go ham. I want to go for all the kills. Can you survive, though? I don't know, but I still want the kills. So let's see if this pays out in the end. This is a high risk, high reward, I would say.
Yeah, definitely so. As Guffet gonna find out Snobby here alongside Bengi, and oh my god.
It's a 1-for-1 in the end. Shafty is going way too low. Spooder, though, jumps on top of his enemy. And there you go. The Banquet is online. Porcupine gets the reset on this one. Gets the HP as well. Ooh, baby, the laser. There you go. You kind of need HP, though. He almost gets killed on that one, but he will be able to push the bottom side. The Herald is still available.
That's really scary. It looks like he wants it to go towards the mid lane, it seems like. But the thing is, Domino don't even need the Herald for this mid lane tower. They could very well pick up this tower. And I actually think this is a very, very minor misstep from Porcupine, because if he kills this tower before that Herald charges, they can probably look to just kill this tower.
Yeah.
But the second charge still comes through. Actually, maybe they couldn't. I'll take that back. So still get the second charge, and they get a lot of damage here on the bottom side tier 2. So Domino really in control, and this I was talking about with this Belveth pick, right? If it gets going, it just feels like it's super oppressive, especially with short range, champions on the side of UniQ outside of those two carries. If they're not there to, try and shut down the Belveth as she's dealing her damage, it just feels really, really impossible. As we get a replay of what happened in this river skirmish, because it was definitely split on two fronts. We was looking at Snobby getting picked, but on the bottom side, Porcupine is just mincing through Shafty's health bar, and yeah, just kind of kills him, and then picks up the form. Eden dishes out a lot of damage in response, but what you'll see is Zero comes in and basically, kind of gets the CC down, and Porcupine does a really good job of dodging out on the second part of that Death Laser to not go down.
We talked about it. Belveth is kind of squishy with the Kraken. Well, that's going to be a lot of damage, but you need to go for the tanky items now. You can't deviate all for AD, attack speed. I know you want to play JoJo, but you have to survive to play JoJo, I would say. Okay.
Yeah, I mean...
From below, Shafty is going to lose his HP in such a little amount of time. Gets a reset again, and there you go. The Banquet is online yet again, Jamada.
Yeah, it is indeed. We'll temporarily have that empowered form. Now, Sarah's looking for Eden, and the rest of Domino are on their way. So even if Eden doesn't die very quickly, should be fine. Redemption's going to come in, because that's a lot of damage coming out from Eden.
That's clutch for Zero with the... I love this skill. The Royal Maelstrom is just lovely. Just spam.
Yeah, it's like you said, it's a JoJo. It's unique. JoJo? Funnily enough, I actually haven't. It's on my to watch list. I have to get down to it eventually. Spooder though, Found out Guffey and Rombengi. I think should be able to just look this one out, though.
I mean, our friendship is also on the to build list, but it's getting hard, though, you know?
What cut, bruh?
I don't know.
What do you mean, man?
You gotta watch JoJo.
Alright,
what are you, like Goldberg? I mean, come on.
Oh, whoa. I could never be as distasteful as Goldberg. Alright, let's calm down, buddy.
Hey, nice the attack speed! As he gets another one! And here comes the endless banquet. He's going for another one. Gets shot. He doesn't care. The attack speed. Oh, Mother still wants another one. Gets it off cut. And Niyus goes into the ground. Porcupine. He has a lot of spikes in his name, making them work.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, Porcupine is just so damn strong. 2 items, so hard to outskirmish. 67 stacks on the passive.
Can you highlight the passive again? Because I love the tooltip.
Oh,
no, show it a little bit higher.
I think you have to put it on the mouse from the top.
It will all be over soon.
Yeah, it's all good. Oh, well. I mean, if this Baron gets picked up, it's even more empowered than the Herald, if I recall correctly. So.
But good have a saying on this one. Porcupine is willing to do the flank. Does he have any sort of assist? The knockup is just not there. So he's getting lower by the second. And Goof is dealing a lot of damage, but out of nowhere, and Zero comes in and puts him to 0 as well. Eden by himself, the Chaotic Storm is not available. Porcupine flashes in! And that is a perfect above and below. And all of a sudden, UniQ are left to shambles as Domino are controlling this game.
Yes, they are indeed. UniQ are crumbling at the moment, and Domino, it feels finally breaking that, you know, pseudo curse I may have recognized and put on them of taking down a team above them right now. They are really putting UniQ to the sword. They are dismantling them surgically as things stand. And UniQ just don't really have much of a leg to stand on. Twitch, the Victor, they're just not online yet. Feels like Eden has been very disjointed on the side lane a couple of times, picked off. And UniQ just aren't really playing as a unit in general, not just to pick on Eden. I feel like Domino are playing a lot more together and towards their strengths, as opposed to where UniQ feels like we didn't really see much happen towards the top side, trying to get Neos ahead and then use him as a bit of a bridge and a power point to allow UniQ to have enough leverage to get to a point where this Twitch and this Victor are really, really strong in those late game team fights. And Porcupine just got super far ahead, and he's been able to kind of carry a lot of Domino on his back at the moment. Feels like whenever they've been able to give him this Belveth pick, it has been the case. Porcupine really has stepped up in the last couple of weeks.
603, perfect game so far. And now he can go to Death Stance, and that is a combo that I don't want to see, because your Maelstrom reduces incoming damage by way too much. Stronger than an Alistar ultimate, by the way. Oh, you had to highlight it.
But, to be fair, you do stay still.
Oh, yeah, with a massive AoE while you're getting sustained.
That deals damage.
Yeah. Yeah, Jamada. Yeah, that's, okay.
It's not balanced.
I'm not saying it's imbalanced, I'm just saying it's on a point that is really difficult to deal with on the side of UniQ. But also she's ahead. You had the window to shut it down. Oh, from below, he gets another one. Remind yourself that as soon as you get... This is another one, by the way. Above and below, it's the knock-up. And if you get the knock-up on the champion, you reset the cooldown from Void Surge, which is the Q, cooldown in that specific direction.
Yeah.
That's why you can see her, knock up, and go again for another dash.
It's a lot of sticking power, is what the key thing is, especially when you already have Blade of the Ring King. Obviously that Frostfire build as well, which still kind of gets played, like you said. Build path technically got a little bit nerfed, but still very much playable and very irritating to deal with. Not so many slows.
On those targets because of the
yeah.
Every single it's not every single, it's every 2 auto attacks. Oh, he has it. He has the cuddle. Here comes the wave. There's no Edel, but it doesn't even matter. Look at the turret. You have to attack 2 times on those minions. You can use the Cyclone, but the minions don't even care. You don't deal enough damage. It's not even Belveth taking down the turrets. It's just minions.
It's minions. It's really, really bizarre. And now Domino 3v2.
In trouble. Rotten Bangy goes away. Eden takes the flamethrower to the face. But he doesn't even care. He's already in flames. Goof going to the bot side, but as soon as he gets there, the inhibitor is no longer an option to defend. Porcupine is there. I know you want to do it. I know you want to scream rat-a-tat-a-tat. 2 invisible people versus Porcupine is not even enough. As Spooder was just there to welcome the king of the rift, I would say at this point. 603. And he's going back and he's going to get himself depth stance, I believe, if he has enough gold. And he also has a stopwatch, so can you even kill this Velvet?
Short answer, probably not. I will, I'll just summarize for everybody. I think if there is a world where you do it, it is, simply because she missteps, she gets caught by Ron Bengi on an engage, and then, everybody presses their buttons on Porcupine and he dies. But so far has been positioning really, really well, and I just don't really see that happening as things currently are. And with that death stance, it's just going to get even harder with all the mitigated damage. That's going to bleed out slowly, give her the opportunity to heal back up through it.
There's a window. Shafty is going for the frozen arc. You slow down a little bit of attack speed.
Ah, yes, the infinitely scaling attack speed that you slow down. Yeah.
It's percentage, so
yeah, true. Yeah, I'll give you that. Gets more effective, I suppose, the more attack speed the Bel'Veth does have. Currently sitting at 2.83 attack speed.
Oh, Before using a skill, by the way, because she gets more attack speed when she uses a skill. I love these kids. There you go. The attack speed was 285. Okay.
It's just gonna keep on getting higher. Very spooky. I mean, I'm sure everybody saw the videos on Twitter and such when Velvet was released, and we had a good look at what I would dub the Muda Muda videos of Velvet. Just huh?
I'm glad he's not using lethal tempo.
True. Yeah. That'll be a lot of attack speed, but I don't think it's necessary right now. Though Domino just waiting out for the next Baron to spawn up. I think as things are, UniQ just have a little bit too much wave clear for them to get through, which is definitely going to buy a significant amount of time for UniQ to try and get on Spike in a position where they can look to fight. They are I am parry in the mid lane, in the AD carry slots, and even in the top lane. But again, the big disparity is in the jungle, where Porcupine has just been such a consistent threat that UniQ have just not been able to shut down. And if they can kill him, then yeah, maybe there's a chance, because a lot of the gold lead is probably going to be front loaded. Actually, where is the gold lead? Because we haven't really looked at the gold much this game, but a lot of it is going to be front loaded into Porcupine, right? So it's a 10k gold lead in the game, but it's a 5k gold lead between just Porcupine and Shafty. A lot of the rest of the gold lead is going to be globals, as I'll have to pause the point. Shafty looks like he's going to be in trouble from zero. So again, if they can remove Porcupine, like Porcupine removed, it's only a 4.5-ish k gold lead, right? Take a look at the items. You're at parry. These guys aren't too far apart. It's just mostly Porcupine who has been, so efficient and so strong for so long. Now they're just looking for a fight. Teleport in the middle of the lane.
Teleport is in the middle of the lane. Porcupine is looking for Shafty. If they kill him, that's more than enough. The Graviton would be perfect, but it doesn't matter because Porcupine is now on his eyes. Target on the Wukong. He's taking a lot of damage now. You need to kill Porcupine. Is in this time on the stopwatch. Can you kill him? Spooner is going to be the one kicking the bucket. This is the perfect fight for UniQ. They take away the top laner, but can you take away the Baron? I don't think so, but at least you slow down.
Yeah, I mean, just feels like Domino was so eager to get a fight there, just flex their wallets, but not able to. UniQ able to kite away long enough. They pick up, smooth up, force teleport play. Not really, I mean, I understand the idea. Again, I feel like that's what they were going for, but just bring him in towards the Baron, right? I think that's the best choice you have. Now, Shafty, he is...
not even using the knock-up. Okay, he fell the knock-up. That's a perfect pillar to slow down.
Yeah, perfect pillar. Extends the terrain. Makes him have to path around the pillar. Those are the most irritating ones. And Shafty's able to walk out that one alive. Definitely feel like he was going to drop in a situation like that. But again, I feel like Domino, despite, giving over that one kill and the little bit of time they have to UniQ, is it enough really? That's going to be the question, right? We saw a fight where Porcupine almost goes down, and again, UniQ at the very least look threatening because the rest of the map is at parry. The gold lead removed. Porcupine is kind of a lot of it. So if UniQ can play around that, UniQ have a fairly okay shot at playing out some of these team fights, as we're seeing the Victor hit 2.5 items, Guffey working towards what I can only imagine is going to be a Runans. And if those are there and ready and available, which it is, for Guffey, they have a strong chance at making a team fight work.
AoE damage, that's what you need. You need to spread that toxin on everyone. The stopwatch is gone, by the way. That was the key item to save Porcupine's life. He was 1 second away from dying. And he now can no longer... Well, that was a... He used the Shudelias, but there was no one there.
I'm not sure. Maybe a misclick.
Yeah. But that is the item that needed to be there to save Porcupine. Without it, we know he's mortal. He went for the Kraken, so he's squishier than he should be if you go with the normal build with the Frostfire. But he deals way more damage. Yeah, that is true. It's going to be the Soul, uncontested. Now I believe they want to fight for the Baron.
Yeah, I think trying to get a fight inside the Baron Pit just makes a lot more sense, right? Domino, if they're committed to it, they're going to have the magic resist shredded, they're going to be a little bit chunked out by the Baron itself. And then you maybe try and look to find, as best an advantage as you can there. But right now it's about getting through the vision, and Shafty is checking into none.
Flash. He uses the stopwatch. He knows his time is running out. The TP from the Victor comes in. Eden, just for the middle of the lane. He wants to rejoin this one because he knows. Baron goes down, Shimada. That's the game.
Yeah, and I mean, look how fast it's going down. Already half HP gone. It's gone. It's gone. Like, UniQ couldn't even get here in time. Eden drops the combo. Isn't going to steal it. UniQ on the rock.
Storm as well, Jamada. He used everything on their arsenal to try and stop the Baron. But now you need to stop the other Baron, which is called Porcupine. He's just dashing and slashing and taking everyone's lives into the ground. As UniQ are going to fall versus Domino. Rotten banging by himself. What can you do? You can stop the minions. Yeah, you can. But by the way, Porcupine can make his own.
Oh yeah, he's got him. Look at that. And that would just about be enough to have that tower go down, inhibitor. And the next wave comes in as Zero is able to force.
Shafty joined us. Have a meeting. There you go. He goes down yet again. From colors to gray in less than 2 seconds. As the minions from Porcupine are going to allow them to finish this one up. Porcupine is living on the bizarre worlds as the Nexus goes down in favor of Domino.
Very, very strong showing from Domino in this game. Just felt like they understood how to play around the Bel'Veth properly. Obviously, those early kills really did help out. We're not going to definitely, undervalue that. But once Porcupine was online, 2 kills, picked up Blade During King super early on in the game, it just felt like every skirmish that Domino took was either on their terms or just positive. Like, it was always looking like a fight that Domino should be winning. And again, I think it just plays heavily into UniQ's draft today here, right? Twitch, Victor, you're not playing for the early game a lot of the time, right? You're playing 25 minutes on. That's when those champions will come online. 2.5 items, 3 items in Twitch's case, in many cases, without the likes of a Lulu kind of buffing them up. And we didn't really see enough of UniQ trying to maybe bully the top side, right? Bully that Gnar with the Wukong, with the Trundle, try and get, a bit of a side lane lead going for yourselves to at least have some kind of leverage to use as a bridge towards getting to those late game sort of fantasies for Twitch and Victor. Never came online, and it just felt like, again, we just saw a much better Domino than what we're used to seeing. And they finally did it. They took down a team above them in the standings. They're now tied with them, I believe. So really good day for Domino.
They punched above their weight, as we were talking at the beginning of the game. And this is going to be an interesting interview as we jump into it after a short break. I'll see you soon.